Today we're going to be adding and subtracting decimals. This is in chapter 3. First of all, let's look at some rules about adding decimals. A lot of times you'll have problems that are given to you horizontally. The first thing we need to remember to do is to write the numbers vertically. And this is so important. We will line up the decimals. If you do not correctly line up the decimals, your answer will be incorrect. And we can also use zeros to hold places if necessary. So notice the 6 and 8 tenths will be written as 6 and 800 thousandths. We added in 2 zeros to hold those places because the last number goes all the way out to the thousandths place. The 4 and 65 hundredths needed 1 zero to make it go to the thousandths place. And then the 2 and 125 thousandths stays the same. So now we're ready to add. So we will start with this right column. 0, 0, and 5 will give us a 5. 0, 5, and 2 is 7. All right, now we need 8, 6, and 1. All right, 6 and 1 will give us 7. And 8 and 7 is 15. And we will carry the 1. Don't forget to write your decimal point. All right, final column. 6 and 1 is 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now you try it out. The first thing we need to do is line up the decimals as we rewrite the problem vertically. So we have 54 and 7 tenths plus 21 and 4 tenths. Okay, we'll start with this column on the right. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry the 1. Make sure to write your decimal point. 4 and 1 is 5. Another 1 makes 6. And then 5, 6, 7. Now let's look at subtracting decimals. Again, rewrite the problem vertically. Okay, we will also, in this problem, add a decimal point and 2 zeros as placeholders because our first number is a whole number. In a whole number, the decimal point is usually not written, and it comes right here at the end of the whole number. So we'll want to make sure we add that decimal and 2 zeros to hold the place, because the second number goes out to the hundredths place. Here's our blank. Line up the decimals. Now it's time to subtract. All right, so when I started here, I could not take 9 from 0, so I had to borrow, make it a 10. And when I went to this 0 to borrow, there wasn't anything there, so I had to borrow over here. All right, so instead of this being a 10 when I borrow, it's a 9 because I had to share here. All right, and then this is a 0, and so this 16 becomes a 15. All right, now we're ready to subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. Don't forget your decimal point. All right, and then 15 minus 8 is 7. One more for you to try out. Don't forget to add your decimal and your zeros to hold the place. 14 decimal and 2 zeros because this number goes to the hundredths place. We're subtracting 9 and 9 hundredths. And now we're ready. We cannot take 9 from 0, so we'll borrow and make it a 10. All right, we had to borrow here, and that would have been okay to do 0 minus 0, but since we borrowed, well, now we'll have to make it a 9. All right, and we borrowed here, and that will become a 13 and a 0 here. All right, we're ready to subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 0 is 9. Don't forget your decimal. All right, now 13 minus 9, and we have a 4.